What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I have my 5 Week 7 NFL bets. Last week, we bounced back and went 3-2, so it went pretty solid. Can't really complain with that. This week was a tough slate to pick from. Usually, I have some games that jump off the page, but only one game really did that for me this week. That game was the LA Chargers plus 2.5 against the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Chargers and the Titans, for that matter, are both teams that are hot and cold. They're weird teams. They always have been, and they always will be, I think, personally. I mean, for the Chargers, for instance, they've beaten a good Colts team, but lost to a terrible Denver team. It's a weird situation. The Titans have a good pass defense, but they haven't faced a team yet this season that is very good offensively. They've played Cleveland, who has had offensive woes all season, Indianapolis, who really hasn't been amazing offensively, a lot of running and a lot of, short victory wins, very close wins, which is still good, but haven't put up a ton of points. Jacksonville with Gardner Minshew. Atlanta, who's a great team, but they shut them out. Buffalo with Josh Allen, who we'll talk about later, isn't great. And Denver, who I'm a Denver fan, and I hate Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco sucks. So those are some teams that aren't very great. The Chargers have one of the most complete offenses in the NFL, with great receivers in Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, a healthy Hunter Henry finally back from injury, and of course the duo of Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler, who are two great NFL backs. The thing I don't understand is, do we really think Ryan Tannehill provides a boost for this offense? Ryan Tannehill is now replacing Marcus Mariota, who was benched this week, which not a surprise for me because it's kind of coming, or has been coming for a long time, but Marcus Mariota has only turned the ball over, I believe, once or twice this year, which is pretty good, but, Tannehill has thrown 16 passes this season, and of course, threw an interception. Marcus Mariota didn't throw one for like 3 or 4 games, and Tannehill threw one in his first appearance, but okay, Titans. Tannehill has good stats on paper in the past, had a couple good seasons with Miami, but, don't let the box score fool you. He's a check down Charlie with a bad knee. The Titans are going to pound the rock with Derrick Henry, and the Chargers will shut down the pass, which they're really good in, yards per game through the air. I think this is going to lead to a low-scoring day for the Titans, not to mention Ryan Tannehill, his first his first game action in a while. This game screams Chargers to me. That offense is too good for the Chargers. The game I like, and I'm using that term like loosely, this week is the Miami Dolphins plus 17 against the Buffalo Bills. Am I crazy? Miami has been horrible this year, currently 0-5, but are coming off their best performance of the year, losing 17-16 against Washington with the famous terrible screen pass that Kenyon Drake just dropped. But Buffalo's offense is not very high-powered. I don't feel like that's a good sentence. Not very high-powered. It's not a high-powered offense. There's not a lot of stars on it. A lot of big play receivers or running backs for that matter. I mean, Frank Gore's still leading the charge there. This season, the Bills have scored 20 points in a game just twice, coming against two of the worst defenses in the NFL, which I know Miami's defense fits that perfectly. But let's ask ourselves, have the Bills shut anybody down this year? Maybe the Patriots, but not really anyone else. And have they won by any big margins? Their average difference of points is 6.4. And if you take out the 14-point win over the Giants, which was their biggest differential, the point differential drops to 4.5. So they're only winning by 4.5 points on average. So far in 2019, Josh Allen has been subpar as a passer, which is to be expected after last year. Huge arm, no accuracy. Josh Allen has thrown 5 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Allen has a chance to throw the Bills out of a big game. An easy game for them to stay in the playoff hunt. I think Miami can keep this game close enough to cover. Also, I don't know if this hurts Miami or helps Miami in your debate on whether to bet this or not. I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick's starting this week for Miami. And not that I love Josh Rosen. I loved him coming out of college. But, Ryan Fitzpatrick is one of those quarterbacks that is hot and he is cold. And if he comes out and he's hot this game, that could be a big boost for Miami. I'm not saying they win, but 17 points to the Jets, or rather the Bills, I don't think I could take the Bills in that situation. There's no chance. I think the line was the same thing in the Patriots game, and I can't do Josh Allen and the Bills. There's no chance. My next game is the LA Rams -3 against the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons have been a disappointing team, if not the most disappointing team this whole season. The defense is giving up the second most points at 31 per game and give up the sixth most yards through the air. Now, for the Rams, Jared Goff's kryptonite, as we all know, is pressure. He's not good when the defense closes in on him and he faces a lot of pressure. Lucky for him, the Falcons are the worst in the NFL in sacks, with only 5 on the entire season. Goff's depleted offensive line should be able to handle the Falcons' pass rush. The Falcons' offense hasn't been the powerhouse it has been in the past. Although the team is top 10 in total yards, those have come in garbage time on the account of the team being behind so much in games and so fast. Not to mention, the Falcons only average 75 yards per game on the ground. That's not going to get it done. And, for the Rams' favor, Todd Gurley is looking like he will play this week, so that's just another boost to the Rams' offense. If Jared Goff can get a clean pocket, this game will be an easy win for the Rams. The next game I like this week is the Philadelphia Eagles +2.5 against the Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles disappointed me last week, but they did do a great job shutting down Dalvin Cook, which I predicted, but not so much against Kirk Cousins. Now, the Eagles' rush defense has been outstanding this season, only allowing 72 yards per game this season. The Cowboys love to run, of course, with Zeke, as he's currently averaging just over 18 carries a game. Dak Prescott started off the season hot with games of 4 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, and 2 passing touchdowns in his first 3 games. But in those 3 games, he played the Giants, the Redskins, and the Dolphins. 3 of the worst defenses or just teams in the NFL in general. In his next 3 games, Dak has thrown 2 touchdowns and 4 picks against pretty good competition. The Dallas passing game may be at a disadvantage this week with Amari Cooper banged up with a quad injury, who isn't expected to be at 100%. Michael Gallup may be the only true healthy receiver for the Dallas receiving corps, as Randall Cobb is questionable. The Eagles' offense is finally healthy with Alshon Jeffrey not carrying an injury tag into the weekend. Carson Wentz is playing great football, throwing 12 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions. The Eagles' run game has been pretty solid behind Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders, and if the Eagles can slow down the run game and make Dak win the game with the beat-up Dallas receiving corps, I think Philly has a good chance to win this game. I know I said that last week with Kirk Cousins, but with Dallas's beat-up receiving corps, I think they have a good shot of winning this game. The fifth and final game that I like this week is the Seattle Seahawks -3 against the Baltimore Ravens. It seems the Lamar Jackson fever is starting to settle. The Ravens started off the season hot, beating the Dolphins by 40 points, then defeating rookie Kyler Murray, and putting up a strong battle against former MVP Patrick Mahomes in Week 3. Since then, Baltimore has lost to the Browns 40-25, went to overtime against the Steelers in a game where Mason Rudolph, their starting backup quarterback, got knocked out, and beat the Bengals by only 6 points. After throwing 7 touchdowns to 0 picks in his first 3 games, Lamar Jackson has thrown for 4 touchdowns and 5 picks in his last 3 games, and hasn't thrown for over 250 yards in a game since Week 3. Well, I will give him credit, because of course, Jackson does get his production on the ground, where there really isn't any other quarterback in the NFL like him. For Seattle's offense, Russell Wilson is in MVP race, throwing 14 touchdowns with no picks this year. 14 with 0 interceptions. And he's on pace for a career high with over 4,500 passing yards. He also has the Seahawks at 5-1 and scoring 27.5 points per game. I still don't get the disrespect the Seattle team gets. Being only favored by 1 point last week, to even being underdogs I've seen to the Cleveland Browns, to only being 3 points favorites against a struggling Baltimore team at home. This means on a neutral field, it would be a pick. You can pick either team to win. I think the Seattle Seahawks are a better football team than the Ravens, and I tend to take the better quarterback in that situation, which is Russell Wilson. And don't get fooled into believing the Ravens' defense is good. They're bottom 10 in passing yards per game, which isn't good, obviously, but they are top 5 in rushing defense, which is skewed. In week 1 against Miami, the Dolphins ran the ball 13 times for 21 yards as a team. Of course, we all know Miami is terrible. In week 2, the Cardinals only ran the ball 11 times for 20 yards after David Johnson hurt his wrist. Those 2 games made the overall number look a lot better. If you took those 2 games out, the Ravens have given up 140 yards on 25 carries, 193 yards on 29 carries with 3 TDs, 78 yards on 19 carries, a touchdown, and a good game, 33 yards on 14 carries, and another touchdown against the Bengals. The Baltimore defense has given up an average of 111 yards per game and over a touchdown per game. This defense isn't special, and Chris Carson will have a field day against Baltimore. And there you go. Those are my 5 Week 7 NFL bets. I want to thank you guys so much for listening. I really do appreciate it as a smaller channel. Of course, I don't get paid for this at all or anything. I just like making the videos and, editing together some stuff. So, thank you. I appreciate it. And I want to know this weekend on who you guys are betting. So comment down below or follow me on Twitter at EvankTheTank. That's at EvankTheTank. It's a stupid nickname based off my last name. I want to thank you guys again, and I'll see you guys next time. Let's win some money.